none of this means anything.
Patternicity is a term often credited to author Michael Shermer to describe the human tendency to find meaningful patterns in random data or meaningless data.
And that's our theme for the first Hooniverse podcast of 2025. Patterns. Looking back is a trite starting point. Let's do that. January 6th. 1925. Settle down. One of the boys born in Detroit that day shaped this very moment pretty drastically. He went and got himself a big job in a backwater and did this.
Pontiac's GTO is bald tiger.
Marketing and engineering turned out to be two great tastes that tasted great together. When they were sold like junk food to a generation of kids who had been constantly sold there.
The 1964 Pontiac, the Tempest Sports Coupe. Now for the new Le Mans series. And now for something especially exciting. The GTO option.
And finally, he got kicked all the way upstairs.
Chevrolet, the most widely sold full-size car in the entire world.
Where it must have been way less fun. So, at 50 years old, he took advantage of the situation. There was money floating around during the economic desperations of 1975. Governments would throw cash at you if you spun a yarn well enough. Especially if you had big names on your resume and made promises to keep the people who were constantly fighting your oppression busy with jobs instead. Clearly, yarn spinning was a talent for this guy. So, he got the money and changed the future. I mean, it was a debacle, but the car looked cool.
Are you telling me you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
And we'd get a sequel of sorts eventually. President Biff included.
Welcome to the Cybertruck unveil.
There's no way the current very angular, stainless-bodied vehicle wasn't inspired by the DeLorean. If you're a Gen Xer, Back to the Future was probably your first glimpse of a DeLorean, and you definitely saw the movie. So, today, we have yesterday's idea of tomorrow. And the playbook that John DeLorean basically wrote on how to launch an upstart automaker worked again. Oh yeah, Biff. Back to Biff. Well, his ex-wife is buried on the grounds of DeLorean's old house in Bedminster, New Jersey. And that's how Lamington Farm became Trump National, site of the Trump family cemetery. And again, all of this means nothing. It's Apophenia, the same thing as patternicity. It's just a weird tapestry woven by three men of a certain disposition across the surprisingly short course of 100 years. So let's establish our own pattern for 2025, starting with episode 372 of the Hooniverse Podcast. We begin with special guest Doug DeMuro. You know him from his internet stardom, Cars and Bids website, and of course opinions. And that's what we share. Dig in for some laughs. History rhymes because it's got a wicked sense of humor.